Hey guys, Yoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry that I have been gone for what feels like forever. We all know how crazy life can be sometimes, and I've had a very busy March, but I'm back. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing a topic I saw floating around the news sites while I was gone. And I know this is technically quite a while ago now, but I didn't see that many people talking about it, and I thought it was a pretty interesting topic. In February, SM Entertainment announced what would be a pretty big change up for their K-pop boy group NCT. NCT, who are renowned for their infinite members and subunits concept, will only be debuting one more subunit, NCT Tokyo, and then that will be it. This is a pretty big shake-up for the group, so in today's video I wanted to discuss a little bit more detail of what this would mean for the group and fans, both from a positive and negative viewpoint, and also the reasons why I think SM have decided to do this on a surface level and deeper, because as with most things in K-pop, I don't think it's as straightforward as the label are trying to make out. Before we start, please note that this video will include my opinions on the topic. I'm not at all affiliated with SM, of course, so please don't take anything I have to say as gospel. And of course, nothing I'm saying is intended to direct hate or negativity towards the members of NCT. Okay, let's get started. Before we dive into the not so new news, let's first recap who NCT are and what their concept is for those who might not be familiar. In 2016, Lee Soo-man, founder of SM Entertainment, made a presentation at the SM COEX Artium titled SM Town New Culture Technology 2016. At this presentation, Lee Soo-man announced the debut of SM's new boy group, NCT, which stands for Neo Culture Technology. We're going to be a new boy group with infinite members and separate subunits, all falling under the same group, NCT. So various members could cross over into various subunits, but they would still all come together to make one big group. The number of NCT subunits has grown over the years, and as of right now there is 5: NCT U, NCT 127, NCT Dream, Wavy, and NCT Dojaejung, even though they haven't quite debuted just yet. And the group currently consists of 23 members. I think it's interesting to note that Lee Soo-man was planning to debut this group in order to fall in line with their culture contents strategy, which they then wanted to take global, debuting different teams in different cities and countries all around the world. There were even plans for an NCT Hollywood, which for some reason never took off. From the way SM sold NCT, it was almost as if this was going to be the future for them in terms of boy groups, and there hasn't been any whispers of SM debuting a new boy group not related to NCT since their creation. I don't know about anybody else, but because SM seemed so set on the way NCT worked, I did not expect them to suddenly stop adding more members and units until the news broke. The announcement. When SM Entertainment's co-CEOs Lee Sung-soo, aka Chris Lee, and Tak Young-jun were sharing the SM 3.0 strategy in a video answering fan questions, the pair announced that NCT's infinite expansions would be coming to an end this year. The pair stated, with the debut of NCT Tokyo, tentative name, in 2023, SM's infinite expansion is scheduled to end, and we are officially announcing that there will be no more member changes, and we will support the existing members as much as possible so they can engage in much more diverse activities. It is actually important to note that this comes just 2 months after Lee Soo-man teased a potential NCT subunit based in Singapore, and that NCT Saudi Arabia was also in the works. So to go from there being all these new subunits in the works to now just one, NCT Tokyo, and then no more ever, it's no shock that I think this has come as a huge surprise for a lot of us. Now, before we get into why I think SM are doing this, let's discuss what the repercussions of this could mean for the NCT members and their fans. Of course, we need to look at both the positives and negatives because there's quite a lot of both. I'm also very curious to see how you guys feel about this, if you see only the benefits to the current members, or if you think this is the beginning of the end. We'll start with the positives of this change so it's not all doom and gloom. There's definitely no doubt that not adding any more members or units to NCT will give the label more time, money, and resources to focus on the members they currently have and their career developments. At the moment, SM is always thinking about what is next, as all labels are of course, but they have the more added pressure of which units they will add. That's a huge distraction that without could mean that the members now get more of what they need to progress both as individuals and as a group. Maybe they can achieve even greater things now. This could also mean that the members NCT currently have will get a chance to have more content, whether this be music or even other things they wanted to dabble in. Maybe SM will start to explore their abilities that they do have within the company rather than adding new ones. There's still potential for the members they do have to team up and do music collabs for SM Station, like Taeyong and Ten and Yang Yang and Ten have already done, for example. I believe SM technically haven't closed that door, or there maybe could be more potential from members solos instead. It would be nice for all the members who are interested in exploring solo activities to get the chance to experiment with their own sounds. And also, I think another positive here is perhaps this could entice new fans to finally explore the world of NCT. I have met a few people in the past who have said they are interested in NCT and they do like some of their music, but it's like starting a TV show on the 8th season. Because you weren't there since the beginning, it can be very difficult to try and catch up with all the content, get to know all the members, the groups, the music, and when they're forever adding to that and adding new units and members can be kind of daunting, and I know a lot of people will just think, whatever. At least now, potential new fans who perhaps weren't so keen on the idea of a group with an ever-changing lineup, they might be able to find something now that appeals more to them. I'm sorry to do it, but we do also need to look at the list of potential negatives that could come from taking away NCT's infinite member and units concept. And I think there is one clear big one that I think would be my biggest concern, and that is the idea of NCT becoming just another boy group. I know NCTzens, the fandom, we of course will never see it that way. This is our boys and we love them, but you have got to look at this from an outsider's perspective sometimes. NCT's whole lore is that they're a large boy group who keep adding members and subunits as time goes on. And changing this concept is essentially taking away a huge aspect of their lore and what they're adding to the industry. It does now become nothing new or different than any other boy group who is out there and just making music. This does also mean that as a result of this, NCT is no longer infinite, and I hate to be the one who has to say it, but this means that NCT can and will disband someday. When they were an infinite boy group, the name NCT would have always lived on, just with different members and lineups. But if we're not adding any new members or units after NCT Tokyo, then there will come a time and a place where the continuity of NCT ends. In the positives, we mentioned that there is a lack of new units, which could mean more content from the members we have, but that is only if SM decides to give them the extra time and attention. There is no guarantee that SM will actually do that just because they've said they will. Now we are no longer adding members to NCT, there is nothing stopping SM from adding new trainees to the company with the intentions of creating and debuting an entirely new boy group separate from the name of NCT. This would therefore mean less content from NCT, who at the moment come back very frequently. And those of us who have been around for quite a while know that SM Entertainment are notorious for pushing aside their older groups as soon as they debut a newer, younger model. Okay, so we've discussed what is happening and what it could mean, but we are yet to discuss one key thing. Why? SM have supposedly told us why they've done this, so let's first look at their reasonings before we look at other potentials for the ending of the infinite growth of NCT. I want to know if you guys genuinely believe this is the sole reason for the ending of NCT's expansion. Lee Sung-soo, one of the co-CEOs, said that NCT's change is in order to allow SM Entertainment to support the existing members as much as possible, and they wanted to meet fans' desire for NCT members to engage in much more diverse activities. I don't want to be too much of a negative Nancy. Part of me wants to believe this is true and the only reason. I can see a very valid point to this being our reason to halt the growth of NCT, but NCT are a very successful group who are only getting bigger and growing a larger fan base as time goes on. Labels like SM Entertainment are as big and successful as they are for knowing when they have a cash cow of an artist and making the most of it. This is why whenever a JYP Entertainment artist is in their peak, for instance, you will notice that they do not get a break for at least 2 years minimum, where they work non-stop doing tour after tour and comeback after comeback to get as much money as possible while the group are at their heights. They did it with Twice, and you'll notice it's currently happening to Stray Kids. That's a very normal thing for companies to do, even if we don't agree with it for the sake of the idol's health. For these companies, this is all about what is most profitable, and changing NCT's concept and no longer adding to them, while this may benefit the members' health, growth, and development if they let it, and give the fans more from them, this isn't necessarily what will impress stakeholders the most. The stakeholders will see how much profits increase with the addition of every new unit of NCT, and they will say, great, carry on. Have you ever heard of the phrase, if it's not broken, don't fix it? There is definitely no doubt that the fans have asked SM to give the members a lot more, and while this therefore does sound like a great way to give fans what they want, more from the members, part of me is struggling to believe that this is the only real reason SM are not growing growing NCT any further. It seems too simple. Like we just asked for something and we got it. That doesn't happen, you know what I mean? Why would you change a group's entire concept and lore just to meet fan demands when labels like SM haven't exactly cared a great deal about what is best for their idols or fans in the past? I think I've already made it extremely obvious throughout this video that I think there is more to this change for NCT than meets the eye. While I do think this decision is partially to make fans think we're getting what we want, I think this decision has been made with one person in mind, and it's not myself or any of you or any of NCT. It's him, Lee Soo-man. Lee Soo-man's battle with SM Entertainment has been quite a hot topic of discussion for a while now, and unfortunately there's no simple way to summarize this. I'm going to try. I think this is a very important and integral part of the story of NCT's change. In 2021, Lee Soo-man, founder of SM Entertainment, announced that he would be selling his shares in the label, roughly 18.73% at the time, which made him the largest stakeholder. A lot of large companies immediately showed interest in purchasing his shares, of course, with it being such a profitable company. These companies interested included HYBE, CJ Group, who owns CJENM, CJ Entertainment and more, and also Kakao. In September 2022, SM Entertainment released a statement regarding the potential early termination of its contract with Lee Soo-man and his company, Like Planning, which is the company in charge of music consulting and producing for all of SM artists' albums. According to the statement, this was Soo-man's idea, but they were already planning a future without Like Planning anyway, as we saw from their SM 3.0 strategy. Fast forward to February 2023, and Kakao have become the second largest stakeholder of SM Entertainment, securing themselves a roughly 9.05% stake in the company by signing an exclusive distribution contract. Following this announcement is when things really kicked off even further than we imagined possible. Lee Soo-man's legal firm, Huawei, alleged that SM Entertainment had used illegal methods to make the shares available for Kakao to purchase. Lee Soo-man's lawyers threatened to file an injunction to sue his own company and block the sale. A lot of netizens reported that the lashing out from Lee Soo-man was likely more due to the fact that Kakao owning such a huge share in SM Entertainment put his position as the largest stakeholder in jeopardy. But another reason for the lashing out will also be that Lee Soo-man and the current co-CEO of SM, Lee Sung-soo, have very different ideas about the company's future, and therefore their working and personal relationship had become very estranged. I say personal because Lee Sung-soo is actually Lee Soo-man's nephew. Lee Soo-man also announced that he would be selling a stake of his shares in SM Entertainment to HYBE, and ever since this, it's become kind of crazy on social media. It feels a bit dystopian. SM actually posting videos on their official YouTube channel to tell fans how against this hostile takeover from HYBE they were, arguing that this would negatively impact fans because ticket and album prices would increase, like that of artists from other labels that HYBE had previously acquired. They had graphs and everything, guys. After months of battling between all parties involved, Kakao eventually came out on top over HYBE and have now increased their stake in SM to 39.9%. HYBE not only lost the battle to acquire Lee Soo-man's shares, but actually decreased its stake in SM and sold some of their shares to Kakao too. Okay, that was a heck of a lot of business talk, I'm sorry, but how does this relate back to SM changing NCT's concept? I mentioned earlier in this video that Lee Soo-man originally introduced the concept of his new group NCT in the SM Town New Culture Technology presentation in 2016. Companies like SM Entertainment have to prepare regular strategy presentations, such as this one, to keep existing stakeholders interested, but also to attract new investors. In 2016, Lee Soo-man was very confident that the future of K-pop and music was the idea of a group like NCT. I mean, he literally named his entire presentation after them. He was putting all his eggs in this basket, and this idea of creating the infinite boy group. NCT was, and still is to him, his baby. But Lee Soo-man is simply now known as the man who founded SM Entertainment. He no longer has the impact in SM Entertainment that he once did. And when you consider how dirty the fight between these huge companies got, and even more so between this uncle and nephew, it's crystal clear to me why NCT's infinite concept is ending around the same time that SM are also ending their relationship with Lee Soo-man. NCT and their concept were very much part of how Lee Soo-man wanted SM to grow and develop globally, but that's very different than the direction Lee Sung-soo wants to take the label in. So the way I see it, personally, is that ending NCT's concept of infinite expansions also takes away one of Soo-man's ideas for how the company would grow that Sung-soo didn't agree with. I'm not saying Sung-soo wants to disband NCT. Oh no, quite the opposite of that. He knows a profitable group when he sees one, but he doesn't want to run a boy group the same way that Lee Soo-man wanted to. To me, it sounds like Lee Sung-soo wanted a more conventional way of training and debuting idol groups. That's a lot less risky than debuting units all around the world for one huge infant boy group. He wants absolutely no reminders of his uncle and how he ran the label, and now it's entirely down to him and his co-CEOs say they're going to remove any traces of SM 2.0 to make way for the full SM 3.0. It's business. And let's face it, I also low-key think it's a bit more salt in the wound for him to take away something that his uncle was so passionate about. He wants nothing to do with you or what you wanted for the label. For him, it's kind of like a win-win situation, because now that removes yet another trace of his uncle's partnership with the company. He still gets to keep a profitable group and debut new groups following the sort of strategy he wants moving forward. Okay, I now want to open up the floor to you guys. I've shared what I think is really happening here, but I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. Do you think SM changing NCT's concept is going to positively or negatively affect them and us as fans? And why do you think SM is really doing this? Do the co-CEOs seriously only have the group and our best interests at heart, or could there be more to it like I speculate? Let me know what you think. Okay guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here and haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That'll let you be the first to hear whenever I upload. And as always, my social medias will be on screen. That is my Twitter and my Instagram. I always follow back fellow K-pop fans, so let's be friends. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys!